Well, good day, folks, and welcome to the Gold Coast Waves Entertainment. Today we're interviewing Mr. Alex Ziwak, Grandmaster, martial arts instructor, actor, model, and owner of Ziwak's Martial Arts. Welcome to our show, Alex. It's a pleasure to have you on today.
Well, thank you very much, Tim, for having me. I'm so excited to be here. And hello to all my Australian fans there. I'm excited to be here. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Alex. Like what inspired you to become a martial arts instructor?
Okay, well, that's a great question. Here in the States, there was this TV show called Kung Fu with David Carradine.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, Bruce Lee was the Green Hornet.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, that's really cool. I want to do that. And as kids, we would make believe we knew what we were doing, but we didn't know what we were doing. And at the same time, our parents wanted us to get involved in something as far as more of an individual type of sports. I played basketball and other sports. So we went to this school and we watched the class, and that was it. And we were hooked. And that's what got me into the martial arts.
Fabulous. And what inspired you to learn Taekwondo?
Taekwondo, actually, when we were interested, we didn't know from Taekwondo to Shotokan to Kung Sudo, we just knew karate. It was karate. And even Taekwondo is the Korean form of martial art. Tai stands for kicking with the feet. Kwan stands for punching with the fist. Do means art, method, or way. So it was just karate. And some schools would call it Korean karate. But then once we got involved, and I started to learn more about, oh, this is Taekwondo. It's very similar to the other martial arts systems where you kick and punch, but maybe the movements are a little bit different, the form's a little bit different. So at first, I didn't even know I was doing Taekwondo. I thought I was doing karate, but it's two separate type of disciplines, and they're both good. So that's how that came to be.
Very, very interesting. What would you say are your main strengths, Alex?
Well, I think my main strength is people say, you know, you have a lot of patience. You have to have a lot of patience, and when you're teaching, be it the children or being the adults, and I try to reflect back to when I started learning, and if I didn't understand something, how my instructor taught me. Sometimes some instructors like to tear you down and then build you back up. But I think building people up, making feel them better about themselves is the way to go. And I have a lot of martial art friends and comrades that do the same thing. So I believe being patient and understanding. And I had somebody tell me once, you have the patience of Job. So I said, okay, I guess that's a good thing. But yes, that's my strength, I believe.
That certainly is, certainly is. What makes a good martial artist?
Well, I think being patient, being disciplined, lead by example. If you expect your students to perform a certain way, well, then you should lead by example too. If you're trying to get across to your student to have discipline and self-control, well, you need to have it too, because then you're more believable. So say a student comes in and they want to improve their overall health and they're trying to lose weight, and you are like way overweight, it's hard to believe, okay? So I think having discipline, if you expect it out of your student, you should do it yourself. And also keeping up to date with what's going on in the martial arts. Tradition is good, but techniques have evolved from years ago. Just like years ago, we used to have the rotary phones. Maybe some people do now. Now we have a cell phone. You can go online, there's the internet, so on and so forth. So evolve. So if I continue to grow, my students benefit out of it. And I don't be shallow. Every martial arts system is good. Taekwondo is known for their kicking, but there's other systems like ground fighting, jiu-jitsu, moves from karate, Kung Sudo, that if you learn and you can incorporate into your system, then you're student is more well-rounded. It's a complete martial art. It's boxing technique.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can argue, Tim, that hand boxing techniques are devastating. So if you put
Mm-hmm.
the hand boxing techniques with the leg techniques, you are well-rounded. And that's where it comes from. They call it kickboxing.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Can you tell us about how you would prepare? You know, on a typical day, how would you prepare? You know, like if you were going to take a class or, you know, or doing something like this.
Sure, Tim. Well, I get up in the morning and then I have my cup of coffee and I read the New York Daily News on my iPad. It gets me informed of what's going on. And then I have my oatmeal, put a little peanut butter in it. And then I stretch out a little bit, limber up, because I have a class on Tuesday, Thursday, 6 in the morning, and Monday and Wednesday, 9 in the morning. So I stretch out myself. And then I like to have at least 10 minutes or 15 of just quiet, clear my thoughts, clear my mind, and then get into class. And then throughout the day, I do what a lot of people do is laundry, and then I'll be seeing different things come over as far as like the acting and communicate with my manager and agents, and different friends call me from martial arts or the acting community. And then at 4 o'clock, I have children's class and then later adult class. So that's kind of like how my day goes. I like to listen to sports talk radio. I enjoy American football and sports, and then just keeping up to date with what's going on.
Very good, very good. What should martial artists eat? Do you folks have any special diets or something that you could recommend?
Well, yes. I mean, a lot of people, Tim, join the martial arts because they want to improve in their overall health. And I want to backtrack when I said if the instructor is overweight. I mean, some instructors, they have maybe some issues going on. But at least they see, the students see that they're trying. But I think everything in moderation, okay? I like pizza. I'm not going to eat 5 pieces of pizza, okay? I like to have a couple of pieces of pizza, ice cream, stuff like that. But I think protein, there's a chicken, there's a fish, a little pasta. Too much bread is not good because then you're gaining the weight. You can't move fast. And then your legs can't lift up. It affects your joints, so on and so forth like that. So my instructor used to always say, and I agree, everything in moderation. Just don't overdo it. You have to live life and enjoy, but you don't have to eat a whole quart of ice cream. You can have just a couple. Like that.
Excellent, excellent. What is kinesthetic literacy? You know, the body language. Can you tell us a bit something about that?
Yes. This is, I tell the students a lot, your different senses combined with your body is your mind and body has to be worked together. And a lot of time it's certain feel. And so if I'm going to throw a kick or a punch and I can sense or feel the distance is different, then I have to use certain kind of footwork to get closer or get out of the way. So if someone's coming at me and they're approaching me, if they're coming this way, I go this way, I'm going to crash. So I have to maneuver a certain way. So that way you have a certain feel. It's like a basketball player in their zone. So they know if they're this far away, in all likelihood, they might make the shot. But if they're in a certain range, they can make the shot. Like field goal kicker in American football. So certain sense, and mind and bodies work together. And that's where I like to incorporate that kind of in the classes.
Fantastic. How do you think karate should be used in an educational setting?
Well, this is good, Tim. I think that, and what happens is a lot of parents bring their children to the school to help them develop their listening skills. Focus, pay attention. All the children are very nice and respectful. Sometimes you get a little wise guy, you have to straighten them out. But in turn, that helps them when they go to school to focus, listen, pay attention, no goofing around. I say we can have fun, but we're not playing. Just like you're in math class. The math teacher is teaching you math. You can't goof around. If someone wants to goof around, never mind that. You have to be a leader, not a follower. gaining self-confidence. I said, if you can do what we're doing in class, there's no reason you can't achieve any kind of goal. If you want to try out for a soccer team or swimming or whatever, do it. It builds a confidence. They feel good about themselves. And I tell them, man, you're the man. You can do it. Yes, I can do it. And then they feel good. And they're like, heck, I can do it. So that's how. And listen and pay attention. Focus. Concentrate.
Fantastic. What do you think actually should be taught and why? You know.
Yeah, I think on the other aspect, I think kids have to learn how to protect themselves and defend themselves too in a certain type of manner. Because there are kids that go to school and seek out other boys and girls to bully them. Okay? And I have no patience for that. I always tell the students, you're not taught, whatever I teach you, hopefully you never use, but you're not taught to initiate violence. Be confident in yourself. If someone was to bother you, you can't say, stop. You have to say, hey, back off. You have to have barking the boy. You have to show them that you're the authority. You're the boss. I'm not having none of that. And if they strike you or you don't have to punch them in the face. There's different things you can do. Put them on the floor so they get the hint. And then they're like,
right.
Then they don't do that anymore. Because if you don't stand up for yourself, then they're going to do that every day. Just bother you. You can go talk to the principal or the teacher. They might talk to the other parents, and the parents might talk to that child, and they still do it. You have to stand up for yourself and let them know that you're not going to be one to have that done, because that affects kids mentally. They don't want to go to school. Suicide rate up. Who's jumping off bridges in New York City, throwing themselves in trains? No. You stand up for yourself. And I think learning self-defense the right way is important. That's
absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you develop your own things, or are you self-motivated? You know, when you're called upon to perform an important task.
I'm very self-motivated. I take what I've learned from my instructors, and I always mention my instructors because I remember where I came from. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here where I am. But I'm always an innovator. I'm always trying to see how I can do this better or faster. So I'm not reinventing Taekwondo. Front kick, side kick, roundhouse kick were put together years ago in all the different martial arts systems. But sometimes certain techniques that were done 75 years ago is not that practical. You do it now. So I tweak it a little bit to make it more practical and realistic. Like some Taekwondo instructors, they don't put the hand boxing techniques in that. I believe putting it in there. But if someone doesn't want to do it, that's your business, okay? So I want to do it like that. So I'm self-motivated, very driven, and try to always improve myself and have my students improve too.
Fabulous. Can you tell us a bit about your acting and modeling career, Alex?
Sure. Yes, I started about 10, 15 years ago. Okay. And when I went to Los Angeles, my instructor said, "You have a unique look. You should get into it," because he's taught various actors out there. And then I came back and I took pictures. But at the time, I really didn't know who I was, what type of character I was. And I took these cutesy shots. And then I met my photographer, Jason Bird, who is here with me right now, taking pictures. And he said, "Alex, you have to be a character. Look in the mirror. Who do you see? You see an edgy type of guy, okay?" So I took pictures more as a character. And then I started getting a lot more roles. And then I worked on the CBS TV show Blue Bloods with Tom Selleck and Donnie Wahlberg and all the other great actors on the show and production and crew as an undercover detective, 10 years. Been in John Wick, the John Wick movies with Keanu Reeves, James Gandolfini's last film, Ray Liotta, Al Pacino, all these people And and still to this day, I'm still doing it. With the virus out, they're not having anybody come in and do auditions in person. They're having us do it online like we're doing it now. And things are going,
Right.
but they're a little bit slow. So I'm keeping
Yeah.
my ducks in a row, prepared to whenever they're ready. So I love working on Blue Bloods, and anytime I'm on set, it's a really enjoyable time. Yeah.
Fabulous. Can you tell us about your interview on Hollywood Red Carpet Radio? That would have been very interesting.
Yes, that would have been very interesting, and it's very enjoyable. As a youngster growing up in New Haven, Connecticut, I never thought that I would be interviewed on such a station like I am, and it's a thrill and it's an honor. Thank you. Thank you.
On behalf of Royal Wilson and myself and Gold Coast Waves Entertainment, we'd like to thank you very, very much for coming onto our show today.
Well, you're very welcome, and thank you for having me. It was a thrill, and wish you and everyone in Australia the best, good health, stay safe and healthy. Thank you very much, Tim.